Thank you, Michelle, and welcome everyone to Philadelphia, where this Eastern Conference semifinal shifting after the first two games in Toronto. The Raptors and Sixers splitting those first two games. Toronto taking game one, but Philadelphia bouncing back with an impressive road win in game two, and a sellout crowd here tonight at the Wells Fargo Center as we welcome you to NBA courtside. Second round of the NBA playoffs continue. The other Eastern battle will continue in Boston tomorrow night. Celtics and Bucks all even at one apiece. And Portland with an impressive road win last night in Denver. That series also even after the first two games. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green on hand, Lisa Salters with us as well. Can't wait for game three, what's been a very interesting series so far. And Mark, the Sixers thrilled to be back 1-1 after the first two games. Number one, because it's hard to win in Toronto. But number two, their star player, Joel Embiid, hasn't played particularly well in the first two games. And if they want to win this series, he has to play better.
Under the weather, bad shooting, struggling night, there's no excuses for greatness. And Joel Embiid is well aware of that. The bottom line is he's got to be better for his team to win this series. Take a look at how effective Toronto has been, forcing him into tough, livable shots. And he's settling, allowing the defense to take credit for the job they're doing. This is good defense, but he's too good of an offensive player to settle and let him off the hook. You've done your job, you Marc Gasol. I'd like to see this Joel Embiid, the guy that's not settling at the three-point line, that has the ability to beat you on his terms, be aggressive, get to your spot, and capitalize, whether it be for yourself or for your teammates.
Well, it's not just Embiid. Other than Jimmy Butler, the entire starting lineup for the 76ers has not been efficient. Butler in game two was absolutely spectacular. Took 10 threes. Brett Brown loved the shots he took. And then Jimmy Butler finished the game with superior offensive play. He was big time. He's going to need more help.
Of course, the health of Embiid has been a big story since the All-Star break and here in the playoffs with more Embiid. Let's check in with Lisa Salters. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, look for Joel Embiid to try to be more of a force in this game three. In the game two win, he scored just 12 points, took just 7 shots, the fewest number of shot attempts he has had in a game the entire season. Brett Brown told us that he was okay with the low amount of shots that Embiid took in the game because he said, hey, they were coming at him, they were double teaming him, he did the right thing, he passed the ball. Now, Embiid has told me that he is not going to change his game in any way tonight. He's not going to try to force the issue. But when I asked him, hey, are you going to be more aggressive, he said simply yes. And Mike, an update on the stomach flu that he's been dealing with lately. He had to have IV fluids before game two. I'm told that he did not have to have any IVs today, but when I asked him, how's your stomach feeling, he said, it's still a problem. Mike.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, so now it's Toronto's turn to respond. The last time they lost in the playoffs, game one of the first round, they reeled off 5 straight wins. Now, we don't know how they're going to respond to that. We'll have to wait and see. One thing we know for certain, come playoff time, Kawhi Leonard is a very special player.
Well, there's no question. Averaging in this series 40 points, 9 rebounds, and is able to score at every different level on the floor. Against the drop coverage, he pulls up and shoots the 3 off the dribble and nails it. And then he's always looking to get to his spot and rise up over excellent defenders. The pull-up game is absolutely unguardable with his length and skill. And then when he needs to, he can get all the way to the bucket and finish through contact. He is one special player.
He is, but special players this time of year, you know as well as I, need help. And if you're the Toronto Raptors, that help comes in the disguise of Pascal Siakam. He's a guy that's being defended by Joel Embiid. He's too good of an offensive player, a wingman defended by a 5. Played extremely well in game one. In game two, 9 for 25. I don't have a problem with the 25 shots. I have a problem with him settling, allowing the defense to force him into bad ones. Be as aggressive, but be smart.
The Raptors back on the road. They won their first 2 road games in Orlando in the first round. Meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard had 45 in game one. Toronto took the opener of this series. But Philadelphia and Jimmy Butler bouncing back. Who will win game 3? We'll find out coming up. The Toronto Raptors now in Philadelphia. to play the Sixers as we welcome you to the NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN, presented by Wells Fargo. An appropriate sponsor here at the Wells Fargo Center. And of course is packed for game 3. Joel Embiid and the Sixers with a victory in game 2 to even up this series at 1 apiece. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Modelo Especial. As Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors take the floor, Lowry, Green, Leonard, Siakam, and Marc Gasol, Simmons, Redick, Butler, Harris, and Embiid. 2 excellent starting lineups. And tonight got off to an amazing start. What an emotional national anthem. The man's name was Ron Brooks. He's the first double amputee to be designated an Eagle Scout. And what an emotional national anthem. And so beautifully sung. Boy, this place is hopping as we get set for game 3. Good evening, everyone, with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. Lisa Salters with us to see who will gain the edge in this series after the first 2 games in Toronto resulted in a split. Leonard has been magnificent. Jimmy Butler was the star of game 2. Which star will tonight, which role player will have his chance to shine? Scott Foster is the crew chief with Jason Phillips and Trey Maddox. That's the officiating staff tonight.